Burrito recently celebrated its 1.0 release, bringing with it more features and greater stability than before, and it finally gives non-Windows users a solid pathing add-on. In this video, I'll show you how it works and how to set it up on Linux. But first, quick history lesson. Jump to the timestamp on screen if you want to skip the foreplay. If you clicked on this video, you've probably heard of BlishHUD, and you might even use it yourself. Blish is an incredible add-on manager that provides a ton of really great features, most popular of which is probably the pathing module, which is capable of showing 3D pathways and markers in-game, guiding you through map completion, jumping puzzles, that sort of thing. This was actually pioneered by an add-on called Taco, aka Tactical Overlay. BlishHUD and the pathing module took it further with additional features, an easier setup process, and compatibility with Taco marker packs. It has, understandably, become a must-have for a lot of Guild Wars 2 players. But as a result of the endless and shitification of Windows, more and more gamers are turning to Linux for their PC gaming needs. BlishHUD can be made to work on Linux, and it's usable, but not a perfect experience, so there has been a growing gap in this space for the last few years. By the way, I did a pretty detailed guide on how to make Blish usable on Linux, and I'll link that in the description if you're interested. Oh hey, and I also did a video on installing Guild Wars 2 on Linux, and a few other operating systems. Spoilers, it's about as hard as it is on Windows, but I'll link that as well. And now we get to Burrito. This project actually started a few years ago, and has shown promise as a cross-platform alternative to Taco and Blish. The devs have really kicked it into high gear lately, and they recently hit their 1.0 release, which is a huge milestone for any software project. I decided to finally try it out, knowing there might be some jank to the whole thing, but it just works. And it works really well. The setup process isn't quite as polished as Blish, but it's not perfect on Blish either. So as of now, Burrito is hands down my #1 recommendation for pathing on Linux. So let's head over to my laptop so we can do a fresh install. Start by downloading the zip file from the releases page on their website. They actually offer both a stable version along with a testing release called Burrito Next. I'm just using the stable version for now. While you're on Burrito's website, grab some marker packs. There are a ton available. If you're not sure where to start, I would check out Tez Trails, Heroes Marker Pack, Hero and Dark's Guides, and Teket's all-in-one. Burrito uses two main components to work: a standalone application, which does most of the heavy lifting, and a plugin called Burrito Link that hooks into the game, similarly to how ArcDPS works. In fact, you can install this as a standalone plugin, or you can let another add-on like ArcDPS or Nexus chainload it. There is a standalone Plan C option available, but it's positioned as a last resort, and since I use Nexus and ArcDPS, I'm going to set it up to have Nexus chainload it. It all comes in the same download either way. Unzip the Burrito download, and I'm going to go ahead and rename the folder just for my own sake and move it to a cozier location like home/games. While we're here, I'll make a subfolder inside to place my marker packs. And in the Burrito Link subfolder, grab the DLL you need, again based on your installation method, and drop it into the relevant folder in your Guild Wars 2 folder. For me, that's going to be my add-ons folder, since Nexus manages those. Now launch the game. If you're just using the DLL by itself, or chainloading with ArcDPS, it should already be enabled. If you're using Nexus, be sure to manually load it from the Nexus menu, and I had to relaunch the game after that to make it work. With that out of the way, you can run the actual Burrito application by simply double-clicking it. It's the one called Burrito x86-64. It'll take a moment to launch, but you should see the icon appear in the toolbar at the top of the game window. Certain monitor configs or desktop environments might prevent it from finding the right spot automatically, so if you see a floating Burrito icon elsewhere on your screen, you can hold the Meta or Super key and drag it over to where it belongs. Now that it's running, let's install a marker pack. Just click the Burrito icon twice to bring up the menu, and click Import Taco Marker Pack. Then just find the Taco marker pack that you'd like to import. If it's a bigger pack, like Teket's all-in-one, it'll take a minute or two to load, so just chill and let it do its thing. The window will disappear when it's done. By the way, whenever the menu for Burrito is open, it will display this red border around the game screen. You won't be able to interact with the game while the menus are open and that red border is up. That is normal. And once it's done importing, you can click Toggle Marker Visibility and then enable whatever you want to see. These are generally organized into a tree, so make sure you enable the parent categories you're in too. When you've enabled the markers you want, just close all these windows, which will return focus to the game, and that's it. Fully functional pathing and markers with no KDE window rules trickery, no custom shaders, and really no compromises. Now let's do one more thing for extra credit. I don't want to have to open that folder every time I want to launch Burrito, so I'll open up the KDE menu editor and make a new shortcut. For program, I'm going to find the actual Burrito binary. And I'm also going to set the work path to Burrito's folder. I had to do this to fix a bug with it not being able to load new marker packs, but the devs said that they should be able to implement a fix that won't require this in the future. And we can't have a shortcut without an icon, so I'm going to grab the Burrito logo straight from the website, drop it in the same folder, and set that as the icon. And there we go. Now we have a one-click shortcut to launch Burrito whenever we need pathing. So now that you've seen the actual setup process, I wanted to give you some technical details about my setup in case you need something to compare against for troubleshooting. I've run Burrito on Fedora 41 and 42, both on KDE Plasma 6 and both on Wayland. In fact, it was expected not to work in Wayland well, if at all, but likely thanks to recent improvements in the X-Wayland bridge, it has been flawless for me. It even works in full screen. Every desktop environment and compositor is different though, so your mileage may vary. I'm also currently using Wine 10 as my runner for Guild Wars 2 via Lutris, but I'm not sure how much that matters. Still, considering BlishHUD only works with older versions of Wine and its derivatives, I'm happy to see that's not the case here. In fact, I know Wine 10 added more Wayland support, so this might contribute to why it works so well on my setup. Or not.
I don't know. I'm not a scientist.
That said, if you run into any bugs or need any help, I'd recommend asking in the Discussions tab on Burrito's GitHub page or in the Guild Wars 2 Development Community Discord. I'll link both in the description below as well. Just remember, all of the incredible work done by the devs in the Guild Wars 2 community is done for free, in their spare time, with no compensation. So please be courteous and patient when you're asking for help. You're also welcome to ask in the comments here, and I'll do my best to answer your questions. And there you have it. If you found this helpful or informative, I sure would appreciate a like or maybe even a subscribe. I've also been going down this rabbit hole of other add-ons for Guild Wars 2, so if you're interested in seeing more like this, let me know down in the comments. And as always, thanks for watching.